The studio lights blazed hot under the familiar purple backdrop of The View as the opening theme music swelled through the ABC studios in Manhattan. It was a humid Tuesday morning in July 2025, and the energy in the room crackled with anticipation. Today wasn't just another celebrity interview. Leonardo DiCaprio was here, and everyone knew this was going to be different. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our very special guest, Academy Award winner and environmental advocate, Leonardo DiCaprio. Whoopi Goldberg's voice boomed across the studio as the audience erupted into thunderous applause. Before we jump back in, tell us where you're tuning in from, and if this story touches you, make sure you're subscribed, because tomorrow, I've saved something extra special for you. Leo emerged from backstage with that trademark smile, looking polished in a navy blazer and crisp white shirt. He waved to the crowd, his confidence radiating as he made his way to the guest chair. The applause seemed to energize him. This was his element after all. 25 years in Hollywood had taught him how to work a room. "Leo, welcome back to The View," Sonny Hostin said warmly as he settled into his seat. "We're so excited to talk about your new documentary, Burning Truth. Tell us what makes this project so special to you." DiCaprio's eyes lit up immediately. This was why he came. "Thank you for having me, Sonny. You know, I've been making documentaries about climate change for over a decade now, but Burning Truth is different. It's personal." He leaned forward slightly, his voice gaining passion. "We're not just talking about melting ice caps anymore. We're talking about the systems that got us here. The political inaction, the corporate greed, and yes, even the Hollywood hypocrisy that I've been part of." Alyssa Farah Griffin nodded thoughtfully. "It sounds like you're not pulling any punches, even with your own industry." "Exactly," Leo continued, his hands gesturing expressively. "I realized I couldn't keep making these films without acknowledging the contradictions in my own world. This documentary calls out everyone, including myself. Because if we're not honest about the whole picture, how can we expect real change?" The audience murmured approvingly. This was the Leonardo DiCaprio they'd come to see. Passionate, self-aware, ready to take on the world's biggest crisis. Whoopi had been unusually quiet, watching him with those sharp, calculating eyes that had made her a television legend. She leaned back in her chair, arms crossed, a slight smile playing at the corners of her mouth. "That's interesting, Leo," she said finally, her tone neutral but loaded with something unspoken. "Really interesting, because I think we need to go deeper into that." Something in her voice made the studio audience shift slightly in their seats. Sonny glanced over at Whoopi, sensing a subtle change in the room's temperature. Even Leo noticed it. His confident smile flickered for just a moment before returning. "Of course, Whoopi. That's exactly why I wanted to come on the show today. Climate change isn't just an environmental issue. It's about accountability at every level." Whoopi nodded slowly, that enigmatic smile never leaving her face. "Oh, we're definitely going to talk about accountability, Leo. Don't you worry about that. The commercial break couldn't come soon enough." "And we're back," Whoopi announced as the cameras rolled again, her voice carrying a different edge now. "So, Leo, you mentioned accountability. Let's talk about that." DiCaprio shifted slightly in his chair, but his media-trained smile remained intact. "Absolutely. The documentary shows how—" No, Whoopi interrupted, raising her hand. "I want to talk about your accountability. Because here's the thing that's been bothering me, and a lot of other people, frankly." She leaned forward, her voice gaining intensity. "You're out here telling everyone to change their lives, to sacrifice for the planet. But are you walking the walk, Leo?" The studio fell silent, except for the hum of the cameras. Leo's confident expression wavered. Well, Whoopi, I think the bigger picture here is systemic change. Individual actions matter, but individual actions like flying private jets to climate conferences?" Whoopi's eyebrows shot up. "Because that's what people see, Leo. They see you preaching about carbon footprints while you're leaving a carbon footprint the size of Texas." Alyssa sensed blood in the water and leaned in with a shark-like grin. "Whoopi raises a good point. Public perception matters in activism, doesn't it? How do you respond to critics who say celebrities like yourself are part of the problem?" Leo's jaw tightened almost imperceptibly. 25 years of media training kicked in, but cracks were starting to show. "Look, I've never claimed to be perfect. But that doesn't invalidate the message. Climate change is an existential threat whether I fly commercial or not. But it does undermine your credibility, Alyssa pressed, clearly enjoying herself. When people see inconsistency between the message and the messenger— Hold on, Sunny interjected, her prosecutor instincts sensing an unfair pile-on. Aren't we setting impossible standards here? Leo's documentary is trying to address systemic issues. Should we dismiss that message because he's not living like a monk? Whoopi wasn't backing down. I'm not asking him to live like a monk, Sunny. I'm asking him to be honest about the contradictions. Because right now, it looks like, do as I say, not as I do. Leo's hands gripped the arms of his chair. That's not fair, Whoopi. I've dedicated my life to this cause. I've donated millions, produced dozens of documentaries, while living in multiple mansions and flying around the world. Whoopi shot back. I'm not questioning your dedication, Leo. I'm questioning your approach. The audience was riveted now, sensing this wasn't going according to anyone's script. Even Tony, the veteran stage manager, was watching from the wings with growing concern. This was live television at its most unpredictable and most dangerous. Leo's voice rose slightly, the first real crack in his composure. So what are you suggesting? That I should shut up about climate change because I'm not living in a cave? Whoopi's response was swift and cutting. I'm suggesting that maybe the messenger matters as much as the message. The tension in the studio was thick enough to cut with a knife. Leo's face had gone from media-friendly charm to barely contained irritation, his jaw working as he processed Whoopi's challenge. You want receipts, Leo? Alyssa said, pulling out her phone with theatrical flair. Because I've got them right here. She glanced at her screen, clearly having prepared for this moment. July 3rd, that's just 2 weeks ago. Page 6 ran photos of you on a 300-foot superyacht off the coast of Saint-Tropez. The same week your documentary premiered, calling out fossil fuel consumption. The audience gasped audibly. Leo's media training finally failed him completely as his mouth fell open. That was a private vacation. A private vacation on a yacht that burns more fuel in a day than most families use in a year. Whoopi interrupted, her voice gaining momentum. While your movie is in theaters, telling people to make sacrifices for the planet. The yacht wasn't mine, Leo snapped, his composure cracking visibly. It belonged to a friend who— Oh, so that makes it better? Alyssa's voice dripped with sarcasm. You were just an innocent passenger on someone else's planet-destroying pleasure cruise? Sunny tried desperately to regain control. Listen, can we acknowledge that these are complex issues? Nobody's perfect, and maybe we're creating impossible standards for advocates. Complex? Whoopi's eyebrows shot up. Sunny, honey, it's not complex. Either you believe in the cause enough to live by it, or you don't. And if you don't, maybe you shouldn't be lecturing the rest of us. Leo's voice rose dangerously. I have lived by it. Do you have any idea how much money I've put into environmental causes? How many foundations I've started? With money you made flying around the world making movies, Alyssa shot back, it's like a drug dealer funding rehab centers. The comparison hit Leo like a slap. His face flushed red. That's completely unfair and you know it. Is it? Whoopi leaned back, arms crossed, studying him like a specimen. Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like you want all the credit for caring about the environment without any of the inconvenience of actually living differently. That's not true. Leo's voice cracked with genuine emotion now. You have no idea what sacrifices I've made. Enlighten us, Whoopi said coldly. What have you given up? The private jets? The yachts? The multiple homes? Tony was frantically signaling from the wings, drawing his finger across his throat, the universal sign to wrap things up. But the hosts were too deep into the confrontation to notice, and Leo was too rattled to see the lifeline. This is exactly why nothing changes, Leo said, his voice shaking with frustration. Instead of focusing on the real villains, the corporations, the politicians, you tear down the people trying to help. Whoopi's smile was razor-sharp. I'm not tearing you down, Leo. I'm just asking you to be honest about who you really are. Actually, Tony's voice crackled through the studio speakers as he rushed onto the set. We have a special caller who wants to join the conversation. The main screen flickered to life, revealing a young woman with perfectly styled hair and ring lights reflecting in her eyes. The caption read, "Marissa Chen, social media influencer, Los Angeles." "Hi everyone, I'm such a huge fan of the show," Marissa chirped, but her tone carried an edge that made Leo's stomach drop. "Leo, I just wanted to say congratulations on your documentary. It's so inspiring to see someone really committed to change." Leo forced a grateful smile. "Thank you, that means—" "Which is why I was so confused when I saw you last week," Marissa continued, her voice sweet as poison. "I was actually on the yacht next to yours in Saint-Tropez. Small world, right?" The color drained from Leo's face. Behind him, he could hear someone in the crew whisper, "Oh shit." "I got some amazing photos," Marissa said, her phone now visible on screen. "You looked so relaxed. Jet skiing, helicopter rides to the mainland for shopping. Living your best life while your movie tells everyone else to bike to work." The audience erupted in gasps and whispers. Leo felt like he was drowning in front of millions of viewers. It wasn't my yacht. I was invited." "By who?" Marissa pressed. "Because my followers are dying to know. We've been tracking private jet flights, and your name keeps coming up. Saint-Tropez, Mykonos, the Maldives, all within the past month. That's a bigger carbon footprint than most people make in a lifetime." Whoopi sat back with her arms crossed, watching Leo squirm. She didn't need to say anything now. The public was doing her job for her. "This is a setup," Leo said weakly, looking around the studio like a trapped animal. "You brought her on to ambush me." "Nobody brought me on, Leo," Marissa said, her followers clearly coaching her in the comments. "I called in because I think people deserve to know who their environmental heroes really are." Leo's hands were visibly shaking now. 25 years of celebrity media training, and none of it had prepared him for this moment. He felt exposed, humiliated, betrayed by the very platform he'd trusted. Cut to commercial. He heard Tony frantically whisper to the control room. But it was too late. The damage was done, broadcast live to millions, already being clipped and shared across every social media platform in existence. Leo was about to make it so much worse. "And we're back," Whoopi announced after the commercial break, her voice cutting through the thick tension like a blade. The studio audience was electric with anticipation, phones out, recording everything despite the no-phones policy. Leo sat rigid in his chair, his earlier confidence completely evaporated. His hands gripped the armrest so tightly his knuckles had gone white. When he spoke, his voice was barely controlled. "I want to address what just happened before the break." "Please do," Alyssa said with barely concealed glee, leaning forward like a predator sensing weakness. "I have dedicated my entire adult life to environmental causes," Leo began, his voice rising with each word. "I've donated over $100 million. I've produced documentaries that have reached hundreds of millions of people. I've testified before Congress, spoken at the UN, met with world leaders, while living like a king." Whoopi interrupted flatly. "Enough!" Leo exploded, slamming his palm down on the side table so hard that Sonny's coffee mug jumped. The sharp crack echoed through the studio, and the audience collectively gasped. "I am tired of this." His voice cracked with raw emotion. "I came here thinking we could have a real conversation about the most important issue facing humanity, and instead you ambush me with some TikTok influencer and tabloid photos." Whoopi didn't flinch. Her voice remained steady, almost calm. "Nobody ambushed you, Leo. We're just asking questions about your credibility." "My credibility?" Leo's laugh was bitter and unhinged. "What about your credibility, Whoopi? When's the last time you rode the subway to work instead of having a driver? When's the last time any of you practiced what you preach?" "This isn't about us," Sonny said gently, trying to de-escalate. "Leo, maybe we can—" "No!" Leo whirled toward her, his eyes wild. "It is about you. It's about all of you, sitting in your ivory tower, picking apart everyone who's actually trying to make a difference while you do nothing." Alyssa couldn't resist twisting the knife. "Maybe if you walked instead of flying everywhere, people would take you more seriously." The sarcasm in her voice was the final straw. Leo shot to his feet, his chair rolling backward and nearly tipping over. "You know what? I'm done. I'm done with this circus. I'm done with your gotcha journalism, and I'm done pretending that tearing down the people who care is going to save the planet." His voice was shaking now, tears of rage and humiliation threatening to spill over. The cameras captured every tremor, every crack in his famous facade. "The house is burning down," he said, his voice dropping to a dangerous whisper. "And you're criticizing the firefighters for not having perfect equipment." Whoopi finally stood too, her imposing presence filling the space between them. "No, Leo, we're asking why the firefighter showed up in a gasoline truck." The studio fell dead silent. Even Tony had stopped signaling from the wings, transfixed by the car crash unfolding in real time. Leo stared at her for a long moment, his chest heaving, his entire career hanging in the balance. Then he made his choice. Leo's face went through a series of emotions in rapid succession: rage, hurt, humiliation, and finally, cold resolve. His hands moved to his lapel microphone with deliberate precision. "You know what, Whoopi?" His voice was eerily calm now, the kind of quiet that comes before a hurricane makes landfall. "I didn't come here to be humiliated by someone who thinks gotcha questions are more important than saving the planet." He ripped the microphone off his jacket with such force that the wire snapped, creating a sharp popping sound through the studio speakers. The audience gasped again, sensing something historic was about to happen. "Leo, please, let's just—" Sonny started, reaching out toward him. "No," he said firmly, standing to his full height. "I'm done. I'm done with this show, I'm done with this network, and I'm done with people who tear down anyone who actually gives a damn." Whoopi remained standing, unmoved. "So this is how you handle criticism? You run away?" Leo's eyes blazed. "I'm not running away. I'm walking away from toxic people who care more about ratings than results." His voice cracked slightly. 30 years I've been fighting for this planet, and this is what I get? Ambushed by tabloid journalists and Instagram influencers?" He turned toward the exit, his movements sharp and angry. Tony was frantically signaling the camera operators, his headset practically smoking as the control room lost their minds. "Cut to commercial! Cut to commercial!" Tony hissed, but the cameras stayed locked on Leo. "You want a perfect messenger?" Leo called over his shoulder as he reached the edge of the set. "Find someone who doesn't exist. The rest of us will keep doing the actual work while you sit here nitpicking our carbon footprints." The studio doors burst open as Leo stormed through them. For a moment, the cameras caught a glimpse of the hallway beyond, crew members scrambling, security guards unsure whether to intervene, and Leo's publicist on her phone, probably having the worst day of her career. The doors swung shut with a decisive bang that echoed through the stunned silence of the studio. Whoopi slowly sat back down, her expression unreadable. Alyssa looked like she'd just witnessed a car accident. Sunny covered her face with her hands. The audience sat in complete shock, phones capturing every second of television history being made. "Well," Whoopi finally said, her voice cutting through the silence. "I guess that's one way to end an interview." Tony threw his hands up in defeat and finally got his commercial break. But the damage was already spreading across the internet at light speed. Within minutes, #LaWalksoff was trending worldwide. The clip had been screen recorded by dozens of viewers and was already blazing across TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube faster than wildfire through dry brush. "Leonardo DiCaprio storms off the View after Whoopi Goldberg exposes his hypocrisy," screamed the Entertainment Tonight headline. TMZ went with, "Leo's meltdown. Climate hypocrite can't handle the heat." But CNN struck a different tone. DiCaprio confronted on climate advocacy. When does accountability become character assassination? The reactions were as divided as America itself. Team Leo supporters flooded social media with messages like, "They ambushed him, and at least he's trying to save the planet." Climate activists defended his work while acknowledging his lifestyle contradictions. Team Whoopi countered with, "She held him accountable." And actions speak louder than words. Conservative commentators who'd never cared about climate change suddenly became passionate defenders of personal responsibility. Marissa Chen, the TikTok influencer who delivered the killing blow, gained 500,000 followers in 3 hours. Her yacht photos had been shared millions of times. She posted a follow-up video. Sometimes the truth hurts, but the planet is more important than celebrity feelings. Late-night hosts were already writing monologues. Saturday Night Live was scrambling to get both actors for weekend appearances. Cable news bookers were working overtime trying to land anyone connected to the story. Leo's team released a carefully crafted statement. Mr. DiCaprio stands by his environmental advocacy and regrets that today's discussion focused on personal attacks rather than the urgent climate crisis facing our planet. Whoopi's response was characteristically blunt when cornered by paparazzi outside the ABC building. I asked fair questions about a public figure's public contradictions. If he can't handle that, maybe he shouldn't be lecturing the rest of us. The story had everything: celebrity drama, political implications, and the kind of spectacular public meltdown that social media was designed to amplify. By evening, the original clip had 50 million views across all platforms. The conversation about climate change had become a conversation about everything else. The next morning, Sunny Hostin sat alone at the view table, the studio feeling oddly empty without the usual chaos. She'd requested this solo segment, and her producers had reluctantly agreed. "I need to talk about what happened yesterday," she began, her voice steady but emotional. "What you witnessed was painful, for Leonardo, for my colleagues, and frankly, for me to watch." She paused, choosing her words carefully. "I've spent my career as a prosecutor holding people accountable. But there's a difference between accountability and public execution. Yesterday felt like the latter." The camera stayed tight on her face as she continued. "Was Leonardo perfect? No. Are any of us? But in our rush to tear down his contradictions, did we lose sight of the actual crisis he was trying to highlight?" Her phone had been buzzing all morning with interview requests, but this was the conversation she needed to have first. "I keep thinking about the climate scientist who is supposed to join us in the second half of the show, Drive Sarah Martinez from MIT. We never got to her because we were too busy destroying someone who, despite his flaws, has genuinely moved the needle on environmental awareness." Sunny's voice gained strength. "We've created a culture where being imperfect disqualifies you from caring about important issues. Where having contradictions means your message is worthless. That's not accountability. That's paralysis." The segment struck a chord immediately. #SunnyGetsIt began trending alongside the Leonardo hashtags. Comments poured in. Finally, someone with sense. And this is what real leadership looks like. Climate scientist Dr. Martinez tweeted, "Thank you at Sunny for remembering that perfect is the enemy of good. We need flawed advocates more than silent saints." By noon, Sunny's segment had been viewed 10 million times. Leonardo DiCaprio, watching from his Malibu home, felt something shift inside his chest, the first breath of air he'd taken since walking off that stage. Perhaps redemption was possible after all. 3 days of silence. 3 days of Leo's team fielding angry calls from publicists, agents, and studio executives. 3 days of him sitting in his Malibu house, watching the internet dissect every moment of his meltdown while climate scientists begged the media to focus on their research instead of celebrity drama. Then, on Friday evening, with no warning to his team, Leonardo DiCaprio posted a video to his Instagram account. No professional lighting, no script, no PR polish. Just him, sitting on his couch, looking exhausted and human. "Hi everyone," he began, his voice hoarse. "I've been sitting here for 3 days wondering what to say, and I realize the problem is I've been trying to figure out how to spin this. How to control the narrative. How to manage the damage." He ran his hands through his hair, but maybe that's been the problem all along. The video was raw, unfiltered, completely unlike the polished Leonardo the world was used to seeing. Sunny Hostin said something that hit me hard. She talked about how we've created a culture where being imperfect disqualifies you from caring. And she's right. But here's the thing. I've been so afraid of being called a hypocrite that I've been trying to hide my contradictions instead of owning them. He leaned forward, his eyes red-rimmed. "I do fly private jets. I do vacation on yachts. I live in multiple homes that use more energy than entire neighborhoods. And yes, that makes me a hypocrite when I tell others to reduce their carbon footprint." The admission was stunning in its simplicity. No excuses, no justifications, no deflection. "But here's what I've learned this week. Maybe being a hypocrite is better than being silent. Maybe admitting you're part of the problem while trying to fix it is more honest than pretending to be perfect. His voice cracked slightly. I lost my temper on the view because I felt attacked and cornered. But Whoopi was right to call me out. Marissa was right to show those photos. They were holding me accountable in a way my circle of enablers never has. The camera caught him wiping his eyes quickly. I want to thank Sunny for seeing the bigger picture when I couldn't. She reminded me that this isn't about me. It's about the planet we're leaving for our kids. Leo looked directly into the camera now, his voice gaining strength. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm partnering with a carbon tracking company to make my entire lifestyle transparent. Every flight, every mile driven, every kilowatt used. And I'm going to offset it publicly, in real time, so you can see exactly what someone like me costs the planet, and what it takes to balance that out. He paused, managing a small smile. I'm not going to be perfect, but maybe I can be honest. And maybe that's enough to keep the conversation focused where it belongs, on the crisis that's bigger than all of our contradictions. The video ended abruptly, without fanfare or call to action. Within hours, it had 20 million views and counting. A month later, Leonardo DiCaprio sat across from Sunny Houston in her podcast studio, both of them laughing about something off-camera before going live. "Welcome back to Truth and Consequences," Sunny said warmly. "Today I'm joined by Leonardo DiCaprio, who's been making headlines for all the right reasons lately." Leo smiled, genuinely this time, not the media-trained version. "Thanks for having me, Sunny. And thank you for what you said that day. It changed everything." "How so?" "You reminded me that the goal isn't to be perfect. It's to be honest about our imperfections while still fighting for what matters." Their conversation flowed naturally, covering the emotional toll of public advocacy, the challenge of living your values in an imperfect world, and Leo's new carbon transparency initiative, which had already influenced dozens of other celebrities to follow suit. "The response has been incredible," Leo said. "People appreciate the honesty. They'd rather have a flawed advocate than a silent saint." "And Whoopi?" Sunny asked gently. Leo paused thoughtfully. "She was right to challenge me. I needed to hear it, even if I wasn't ready at the time. She sent me a text last week. Just said, 'We all grow.' Coming from her, that meant everything." The interview went viral again, but this time for the right reasons. Comments praised the authentic dialogue and Leo's transformation from defensive celebrity to vulnerable human being. Climate organizations reported their biggest donation spike in years. "You know what I learned?" Leo said as they wrapped up. "Sometimes you have to break down before you can build something better." That meltdown on The View was the best thing that ever happened to my advocacy, and maybe to the movement itself. Sunny nodded. Accountability without annihilation. That's how real change happens. 6 months later, Leo's documentary won the Oscar for Best Documentary Feature. In his acceptance speech, he thanked Whoopi Goldberg for holding me accountable, and Sunny Houston for showing me the way forward. The conversation about climate change was finally about climate change again. But now it included room for human complexity, contradiction, and growth, which, as it turned out, made it more powerful than ever. Up next, we have 2 more incredible stories that are waiting for you. Just click the image you want to watch and it will take you there. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe. It would mean a lot.